Hello, greetings. Welcome to the channel. I am Braggy. I am a skald and a storyteller. And today I have another story for you, another folk tale. And we all love a good folk tale on this channel. In fact, we have told hundreds. Now, the other day, I was sitting on a log with Eggle. It was by a road, the King's Highway. And, we was contemplating life and talking about various things, from the king, what's he up to now these days, and the local earl. And, we saw something rather strange. And you may be asking, well, what is that strange thing that we saw? Well, indeed, we saw two animals that were running together. It was a fox and a magpie. And Eggle says, I bet those two are up to mischief. And this reminded me of a story I was told as a child by my dear father, Magnar Agnesson. And the story is called The Fox and the Magpie. Now, once upon a time, in the days of old, in the days of the Angles and the Saxons, when the highways were dangerous to travel along, for there could be robbers and highwaymen, and even people wanting to capture you and take you as a slave and take you to a foreign land. There was a fox and a magpie. And these two creatures were friends. They got on. And one day they were sitting around in a little wood, thinking, what shall we do? And the fox says, well, let's go on the King's Highway. We can go and find somebody to rob and find some food, as they was both very hungry. Food was scarce in those days, even for the animals. And so, this is the plan they came up with, and this is what happened. So the fox and the magpie were walking down the road, where the magpie was flying, the fox was running, and they came across a young girl, and she was carrying a basket. And it had eggs and butter. Well, they wasn't exactly going to jump on the girl and rob her them. They had to come up with a plan. And so this is what they did. They sat on the tree. The bird did. And the fox sat down below the tree. And they both discussed what to do. And the bird said to the magpie, I know what. I have a cunning plan. I will go up to the girl. And I will go and peck her on the nose. And while she is distracted with me pecking her, you will grab the basket in your teeth and run off. And then we shall both have a nice belly full of eggs and butter. Don't you just love butter on your egg? And so, this is what they did. The fox was running down the road, slightly keeping a distance from the girl, and the magpie flew until he landed on the girl's face and started to peck her nose. Oi, get off, he said. And while she was distracted and her back was turned, the fox grabbed the basket handle in his teeth and scarpered off. But the fox, being a greedy animal, he decided that he wanted all the eggs and all the butter for himself. And so he took it to his den and gobbled up the whole lot. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Eggs and butter was everywhere. Well, the magpie, as you would imagine, was not very happy by this, because the magpie had been done by the fox, outwitted by the fox. And so he decided to come up with another plan to get his revenge on the fox. And this is what he came up with. The magpie thought about this for a few days, and then went to see the fox and said, Mr. Fox, I know where there is some nice horse flesh, and I know how much you like to eat a horse and horse flesh. So let's go, follow me, and we will go to this place where the horse flesh is, and we will feast like kings. And so the fox ran and jumped over ditches and jumped over hedges, and the bird flapped his wing, the magpie, until they came to a mighty great stone wall. And the fox looked up to the magpie. The magpie was on top of the wall, and the magpie says, behind this wall there is a dead horse, and we can eat and feast on this horse till our stomachs are full. And the fox, being greedy, he thought, lovely, I love a bit of horse flesh. So I'm going to go and jump on this wall. And at first it was too big for him to jump on. And he thought, well, how am I going to climb this wall? Until he came to a bit along the wall where there was a leaning tree that had fallen over. And he knew that he could climb the tree and get on top of the wall. And he very quickly jumped down to find the horse that has died. But there was no horse. He looked here and he looked there, but he could not find a horse. The horse was not there, but there, in the opening behind the wall, was a large group of hounds, and the hounds jumped on the fox, and the fox had a very bad ending, and the magpie flew over. Ha ha! That's for the eggs, and that is for the butter. And that is how the magpie got his revenge on the fox. For the magpie said, I love a good plan. The end of the tale. And we do love a good animal themed story on this, on this channel. And of course the magpie is associated with taking things. It is said that if you leave some coin on the side of your windowsill, the magpie will fly down and pick up your silver coin and take it back to its nest. And the fox, people think the fox is clever, but on this day, he was not so clever, was he, guys and girls? And indeed, he had a terrible death. The end of the tale. Now I do hope you like this story, this folk tale. It comes from the county of Hertfordshire. I've been there a few times in my life. A lovely county. And yes, it is another animal themed story. In fact, we have a playlist full of animal themed folk tales, so I do urge you to go and check it out. And if you're new to the channel, well, I am Braggy. I am a master scold and a master storyteller. And welcome, a warm greetings from me. Please subscribe and share this with your friends, and especially on Reddit. And if you'd like to leave a comment and like this video, this story, then please do so. It will really help the channel to grow. After all, YouTube love interaction. So likes and comments are more than welcome. And until the next time I see you again, which will probably be another folktale day, it is goodbye from Braggy. Goodbye from me. And may you be happy and safe out there in the world. And watch out when you see a fox and a magpie running together, because you never know what mischief they are up to. Oh yes, what an interesting story this is. Goodbye. I hope you like this story, I did. Oh yes. You can't beat a good shield, can you? Something you can lean against in your longhouse against your wall. And the other day I found one of my leather apron when I used to be a smith. But then I made a lot of coin and became wealthy, and now I can afford nice clothes like this. Keeps you lovely and warm in winter. And of course, you can also hide your weapons when you go into a great hall and not have them taken off you. Ha ha! Another reason why to wear a cloak. And we don't wear cloaks like we used to, do we? I mean, you go downtown where you live, you're never going to see a man or woman wearing a cloak. Perhaps one day they'll come back in fashion and I can wear this down Derby. But no doubt somebody will say, ha ha, look at that plonker wearing a cloak. But would they know it's a cloak? I don't think they would. Oh, that's a bit of a bonus bit on the end of the tale. Goodbye again, probably for the third time. After all, things happen in threes in the folk tales and in our videos. Goodbye. That's for now. I'm going this time. Was hail and good health.